This week marks a threshold, not a dramatic turning point, but a clearing. We're moving through the final days of Capricorn season, towards a new moon that asks us not just to set intentions, but to prepare the ground that they'll be planted in. What's being emphasized now isn't acceleration, it's alignment. Welcome back to Libra Rising, where guidance from the stars meets reflections for the soul. Let's take a look at the astro weather for the week ahead. The week opens with a surge of intensity as the Sun and Mars oppose Jupiter around the 10th. This can feel like pressure to do more, to take on too much, promise too much, or push past limits in the name of growth or optimism. But this aspect is not asking for expansion at all costs. It's asking for discernment. Where is effort being scattered? Where is enthusiasm outrunning sustainability? This transit supports thoughtful restraint, choosing focus over force and integrity over overextension. Midweek, the moon moves through Scorpio and forms an opposition to Uranus in Taurus around the 12th through the 13th. This can bring sudden emotional insights, especially around patterns we've been avoiding, attachments we've been holding on to, or truths we've been sensing but not fully acknowledging. This isn't chaos for its own sake. It's a moment of honest reckoning, where what's unstable becomes visible so it doesn't quietly undermine what you're trying to build. Let what surfaces inform you, not overwhelm you. A stabilizing influence emerges around the 14th as Venus forms a supportive sextile to Saturn. This is grounding energy for relationships, values, and creative efforts. It highlights what has lasting potential, what grows through consistency, shared effort, and mutual respect, rather than intensity or urgency. This is a reminder that devotion doesn't need to be dramatic to be meaningful. As the week draws to a close, Venus moves into Aquarius around the 17th. This marks a subtle shift in tone, away from obligation and expectation, and towards authenticity, openness, and freedom of expression. It's an invitation to loosen outdated relational patterns and make space for connections that honor individuality as much as commitment. This energy doesn't reject structure. It asks that structure serve truth, not conformity. The week culminates with a new moon in Capricorn on the 18th, in the late degrees of the sign. This lunation is about reorientation, not rushed beginnings, but grounded intention. It asks, what am I truly ready to commit to? What deserves sustained effort? And what needs to be cleared so that commitment is honest? This moon favors long-term intention, practical alignment, and choices that respect both ambition and capacity. Before we move into the tarot, I want to pause and share a reflection on how these energies have been moving through my inner world from the perspective of a highly sensitive soul. Last week, before the full moon, I felt expanded, reaching outward, connecting with others, taking on new challenges, and gently releasing an old way of seeing myself. There was a momentum there, confidence, a sense of possibility. But this week has felt different. After the full moon's illumination, what followed wasn't clarity through action, it was fatigue and withdrawal, a need to pull back and recover after realizing how much energy had quietly been spent. For sensitive systems, that's often how truth integrates. First comes the insight, then comes the rest required to live with it honestly. What's become clear for me now is that transformation isn't just about reframing identity or stepping into new roles. It's about tending to what drains us, again and again, until the pattern truly changes. I'm noticing that some dynamics in my life require clearer boundaries. both emotionally and practically, not from a place of blame or finality, but from a place of sustainability. And there are questions I don't have the answers to yet. Questions about what can be repaired, what needs to be redefined, and what may need to be released so something healthier can take root. I don't know yet whether the path forward is holding on, letting go, transmuting, or surrendering. But I do trust that this coming week, with its emphasis on clearing the ground before setting new intention, will offer guidance, not through force, but through honesty. Sometimes the work isn't deciding right away. It's listening long enough for a decision to reveal itself. For this new moon, I asked the tarot to strip things down to the elemental level, to show us what's present in the body, the heart, the inner compass, and the core of identity as we clear space for new intentions. At the level of Earth, the realm of body and instinct, the Four of Pentacles reflects holding. This can be protection, but it can also be contraction. Where is the body bracing? Where is safety being confused for control? This card asks us to examine what we're gripping out of fear and whether that grip is actually supporting stability or quietly draining vitality. Clearing here doesn't mean letting go of everything. It means loosening around what no longer needs to be guarded so tightly. In the realm of water, the ruling element of emotions and feeling, the Three of Cups brings emotional renewal. This is the medicine of connection. Joy shared, support received, and emotional nourishment that comes from not doing everything alone. As we prepare for new intention, this card reminds us that emotional capacity expands when celebration, friendships, and belonging are allowed back in. Clearing here means making room for connection, not as a distraction, but as sustenance. In air, the realm of soul and intuition, the Two of Pentacles reversed shows mental overload. Too many moving pieces, too much internal negotiation. This card asks us to stop juggling what doesn't need to be carried forward. Clarity returns when we allow one thing to take priority and trust that not everything requires equal attention. Clearing here is about simplification. At the level of fire, the ruling element of the mind and identity, the sun shines without apology. This is clarity of self, confidence rooted in authenticity, not performance. As the final card, the sun reminds us that when the body is steadied, emotions nourished, and the mind simplified, vitality returns naturally. Clearing here is not about becoming someone new. It's about letting yourself be seen as you already are. This spread clears the ground from the inside out. Loosen what the body is gripping, restore joy and connection, simplify mental demands, and allow your true vitality to lead. This is how intention becomes sustainable. As you move through the week, you might want to gently reflect on the following prompts for journaling or meditation. First, what needs to be cleared, not fixed, but cleared, before I set new intentions? Next, where can I simplify instead of pushing harder? And lastly, what will commitment feel like if I honored my capacity as well as my goals? As an anchor for grounding, consider carrying the following mantra with you this week. I release fear that I must force momentum, and I hold faith that what's aligned will grow steadily in its own time. This week isn't asking for grand declarations. It's asking for honesty, preparation, and respect for the ground that you're standing on before you decide where to build next. Thank you for spending this time with me here on Libra Rising. If these energies resonated, you're welcome to share what's clearing or clarifying for you in the comments below. Until next time, may your foundations feel steady, May your intentions be rooted in truth, and may your path ahead open through clarity rather than force.